Hello and welcome to another MFM Yu-Gi-Oh chat with me, Vini. This week we're going to bring you a few different things. First of all, we're going to talk about the Southwest Qualifier Championship that's been held at MFM Miniatures. We've had all three heats now. We're also going to talk about a standard event that just happened this weekend, and then a couple of customers, Jack and Lukas, are going to talk to you about the new banned list, or banned and forbidden list. And then of course we're going to give away one of these tins as a prize to one of our subscribers' commenters. First of all, I want to talk to you about the Southwest Qualifying Championships. We've run all three qualifiers now, so we have 24 qualified players. We spoke about the previous 16 in a Coles Yu-Gi-Oh chat previously. So 2 weeks ago, we had the last qualifier. The winner of that was Tim Coxs from Antics in Plymouth, who won with a Guiba-Valley necrovalley deck, quite innovative. We'll put the deck list in the profile or the description underneath. But the people that qualified along with him were Tim Coxs, Tom Pound, I think he was using Chaos Dragons, Lee Thomas, Tom Omlo using Dark World, I believe, Lee Ford using Gravekeepers, Zach Thomas Horton, who would either have been using Insectors or Dark World, Sylvester Slagi, who was using Wind Up, and Cole Johnson. So that's our last 8 qualifiers. The final for that is on September the 1st at MFM Miniatures. All of them get free entry into the final, and there's lots of prizes, a £100 gift voucher for the winner, plus a custom drawn playmat by Tim Jones, who does a lot of playmats at the shop. The next thing I want to talk about is I'm only going to briefly talk about it, was the standard event that happened this weekend just gone. We ran it alongside the pre-release for the new set, Return of the Duelist, not to be mistaken for Duelist Revolution. We had quite a lot of players turn up and play casually, but we decided to do the standard event alongside that because some people had said they didn't like a sort of like a sealed deck play with the new boosters. And the 2 finalists were Joe Thompson, who was using a hero deck, and Jack Whiteman from the previous episode of MFM Yu-Gi-Oh chat, who was also using a hero deck, but he was using a Hero Lives, like a Japanese build. The final was pretty close, it was 1-1, and then Jack managed to just take the final using more super polys than Joe did. So he won using that, but we'll also have his deck list in the description as well, if you want to take a look at that. Next up will be Lukas and Jack to talk about the new ban list, and then after them I'll be giving away that all-important prize.
Hi, I'm Jack and this is Lukas, and we're going to talk to you today about the ban list, the changes and what we think could have been done and why things have been done. So we'll just get started.
Our first card is Bryonic, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It's a 6-star synchro. I think we all know what it does.
Yeah, it's been in the game for quite a while now. It's been like restricted down and down. It's discard a card, bounce a card, but it's been the centre of a lot of loops with decks like Infernity and things like that, so it's sort of been a long time coming to get rid of this.
Yeah, it's also quite good against any Exceed or Synchro, because it can just get rid of it.
For free, so yeah, that's been a long time coming. The only other ban was Future Fusion. It's select a fusion and then send the materials to the graveyard and then summon it in 2 turns. But it gives you the potential to mill any 5 dragons or any number of machine types from your deck to the grave with certain fusions, so it's been needed to be banned for that.
It can also be played in the Japanese format with Elemental Hero. You can send any hero and a Zephyros, then return it to your hand with Zephyros' effect and play it again.
So yeah, +1s and gives you lots of searching ability. It was the centre of Chaos Dragon's sort of OTK basis, so had to be removed for those purposes.
Next to our limited cards, firstly, Chaos Sorcerer.
Yeah, again, for Chaos Dragon, it saw quite a lot of play there, and it was to sort of stable the Chaos idea, which was getting a bit ridiculous, because there was, obviously, BLS has come back now, so to have that and 3 Chaos Sorcerers in the format was a bit weird, so they're just trying to stable it a bit.
Yeah, I think they should have semi this guy and banned Black Luster, but then I think that would have hurt the deck too much. And
people quite like having Black Luster in the format as well, I think, so it was just I think, sort of player's choice there, really.
Yep. Next to our 2 Inzektor cards, Hornet and Dragonfly.
They were, I think, obvious, to be honest. I mean, that deck was smashing up in Japan. We didn't get it as much over here. It did quite well, but it was way too dominant over there, so I think they really hurt this deck a lot now. It's not really playable. I mean, this was like the centre power card, and this was the card you needed to combo with everything to make it work, so Yeah, without these now, the deck doesn't really see anything. It can't be used. They've just killed it off.
Next we have Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
It was obviously played in the Chaos Dragon. It was one of the key cards that you searched off Wyvern, and then you could get your pluses off it. It also saw play in decks like Heretic, which didn't do as amazingly over here, but again in the Japanese format was a lot better. It's quite a powerful card. It's just remove from play a dragon to summon it, and then special summon any dragon for your grave once per turn. So with Light Pulsar from the structure deck, it was really good.
Also, Heretic, a tomb could just special it from your deck to get any dragon, which is kind of overpowered.
So yeah, it's just restricting it to one, like, slows it down a bit, which is nicer, I suppose. Not banned, which is good.
Also, not having 2 means you can't make 10-star exceeds off it.
Yeah, and they were obviously a bit good.
Next is Spore, which has come back to 1 after being banned after the plant format. I don't see why it's come back to 1. I think it's either a card that should be at 3 or 0, because its effect sort of limits itself.
It doesn't really matter, I suppose, but they just don't want more plant tuners in the game, I guess.
Yeah.
It was good to get this or Glow Up Bowl back, I suppose, because they did kind of kill off the plant deck, which is a bit of a shame for a lot of players, I know. I'd say this is probably the better one to have back, because it's a bit more diverse, and Glow Up Bowl, well, it's a bit more diverse in the plant deck. I mean, Glow Up Bowl could be played in anything, which was a bit annoying.
It was spammable, especially like Chaos Dragon have a lot of mills, so they could just dump their Glow Up Bowls and then use those.
So yeah, it's good to get this one back, definitely.
Next card back, Tuskayumi.
Sure, there's a few people quite excited about this. Yeah, okay, that's one of them. If you don't know what Tuskayumi does, it's a 4-star dark spellcaster spirit. So when it's during the end phase, it returns back to your hand. It can't be special summoned, but when it's normal or flip summoned,
Normal or flip face up.
Flip face up, sorry. It flips a monster on the field face down. So it's like a Book of Moon every turn. It got banned a very long time ago from like Chaos format, ages ago. But it's really useful with lots of flip effects. Decks like Gravekeepers will benefit massively from this because they get their Spy abuse and Wonder Wand abuse. But just as a general card, it will see a lot of splashing, I'd assume.
Yeah, you can just summon it, flip them once face down, run over it, return it to your hand, do it again next turn.
Yeah, it's quite annoying because it can dodge a lot of things and deals with exceeds really well because getting rid of them face down, not a lot of them have big defense and things like, just things will struggle against it.
Yeah. Evi Gishki Guskraken.
A lot of you probably won't know why this has been restricted, but this is more, again, for the Japanese format than ours. It was the center of a 3-card loop that they could do, quite similar to our wind-up loop, but it played this and Heretics, and you needed a couple cards to set it up, but basically you spam 3 of these out, and this lets you get rid of a card in your opponent's hand, and you ended up with 3 6-star exceeds as well. So it was a little bit broken, and they obviously wanted to get rid of the hand loops. So
it was better than the wind-up loop because you got more out of it, and also you got to choose out of 2 cards instead of just getting a random one.
So you actually got hand knowledge from this as well, so it just became a bit disgusting.
Yeah. Speaking of hand loops,
yeah,
wind-up carries and Mighty, same sort of reason. You don't really want hand loops in the game. It was either this or Hunter that was going to go.
I think personally it should have been Hunter though, because putting this to 1 has kind of ruined Wind Up as a deck now. You can't really use it in any way because you haven't got like your bonus cards. Like this obviously was your Searcher and your Plus and everything, and still let you loop for quite big fields, but
you can't get rid of their hand if without Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, 1 Hunter's pointless, it won't see much play. It would just be there to get rid of 1 card now, but if you kept 3 of these in, you'd have kept Wind Up as a deck. So I think that personally that was the wrong choice.
Yeah. The Ultimate Offering.
I mean, this is a card that drifts in and out all the time, but it's gone down to 1 now. It was at 2, but there was quite a lot of Ultimate Offering gadget decks seeing quite a lot of play. If you've never thought of that before, it's obviously just Ultimate Offering, play a gadget, make a gadget, play a gadget, make a gadget. And obviously with Exceeds, that's ridiculous, so you can just make all kinds of things. Alright, onto the semis now.
Simple Limit, Kalu, the Moonshadow, Blackwing. He's quite broken in Blackwing, but I think they hit Blackwing too much, so they thought they'd bring that back. Yeah. Debris Dragon, it's another card that's come back from the plant format.
Summon it, return a creature with 500 or less attack from your grave, and it can't be synchroed with a 4-star. So you can make, with Dandy, the idea used to be you get Dandy and you could make a Black Rose, bow the field, leave yourself 2 tokens, or you used to be able to Foolish Burial the Dandy, make it, bring back Debris, make a Trishula play or something like that. So there were lots of options to play this card. It was really nice because it used to be just like a 1-card synchro play. Obviously in the plant format, it was really good.
I think with only with 1 Dandy and no Glart Bulb, it won't be as good as it was before, but I think it will still see play. One of my personal favourites, Rescue Rabbit.
Yeah, I think that the Rabbit deck was like they hit the other decks, so they thought they had to do something to Rabbit, because I think it was a nice-ish deck to have in the game, but it was a bit strong for everything else. So restricting Rabbit down was one of the options I think that they had. It slows it down a bit. I mean, you played Rabbit. What do you think of it as a hit?
I think just it won't hit the deck as much, but less often you'll open first turn Rabbit because you have less.
I mean, first turn Rabbit was the unfair play, I suppose. It was the thing that gave you the advantage.
Gave you a 2/4 with a Solemn attached to it. It was just...
I mean, it was like wind-up's loop. I mean, if Rabbit dropped that turn 1 with a 3-back rows or so, you knew that game was over. So good to limit down their options a bit.
Yeah. Agent of Mystery Earth.
This is one of my favourites. This is from the Agent format. It was one of the 3 or so hits they put on that deck, including Trishula and Striker. But yeah, this brings back the Agent deck a bit now, putting this back up to 2, because it means you don't have to play other dud agents. You can just play the good stuff. That deck saw a lot of play when it was around, so yeah, we'll see how this brings the deck along. I'd imagine we'll start seeing a lot more Agent decks, starting to see a lot more play now. Yeah,
definitely. Tour Guide of the Underworld was staple in every deck. I think at 2, it gives you less options for Tour Guide plays, and it won't be splashed as much, but decks that need it, like Rabbit, will play it. First hero card is a Hero Lives. Just lets you pay half your life points, special summon a hero from your deck. If you use Stratos and Bubble Man, that gives you a heroic Excalibur guy without even normal summoning, which was quite good. The next card is Emergency Call. It's a lot like Hero Lives, it just lets you search, it makes the deck more consistent to OTK. Next card's also Searcher, also stops consistency of a deck. Erratic in this case, with its OTK.
This just added a erratic from your deck to your hand, so just pure search and consistency. It's good to get that restricted down a bit, because that deck was quite nasty. But it's just trying to slow things down a bit.
Pot of Duality. I thought it was quite a balanced card, but choosing one of 3 cards is still quite powerful, even if it does limit you for that turn. Reasonings come from limited to semi-limited, which is quite good for certain decks.
Interesting card. You tribute a you tribute as
your opponent declares a level,
and then you mill that many cards until you hit something that can be normal summoned of that level. So until you hit something that can be normal summoned, and if it is that level, it goes to the graveyard. But if not, it gets specialed. So decks that play a variety of levels can use it.
Big monsters with different levels.
So agents, perhaps, I suppose.
Chaos Dragons might
Dragon.
play this because they play 5, 6s, 7.
It was interesting to see it at 1 for. It was at 1 for quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't see any play, so it's good to get it back. Might see more at 2 now. See what happens.
Hopefully there won't be some ridiculous loop with it.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Mirror Force, which wasn't seeing much play because of the Insectors, which can just destroy all your back rows, but at 2, people won't start playing this more.
Yeah, Mirror Force and DP was sort of out of the game, to be honest, because you couldn't afford to have those dud cards in your deck. But I'm interested to see them put it back up to 2, to be honest, because it's a bit of an annoying card to have around. I personally would have just left it at 1, because it's quite a lot of kill with 2 torrential in the game now. So we'll just see how the format pans out, but I suppose with 3 MST it's balancing, sort of.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You might see more Starlight Roads, really.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, we're up to the non-restricts now, so everything that's come back to 3.
I think they will come from 2 to 3. Marshmallow. When your opponent attacks it, they take 1,000 camps to a battle. It's a bit like Spirit Reaper, but better in burn decks.
It's not particularly broken, I don't think. It's a good card, but I think it's okay at 3. I think it's fine.
Necro Gardner. It saw quite a lot of play in Light Swarm and Necro Control formats, but neither of those decks are around anymore, so...
Yeah, it's not the best card, because obviously if you draw it, it's not usable. It's only really good if it's millable in any way, so it might see a bit of play, but personally I don't really see where you can...
especially with only 1 burial.
Yeah, there's no way we can get that going.
Destiny Draw. Card that I think at 3 will have a lot of potential, especially with Diamond Dude and Malicious. Emergency Teleport. Let you special summon a level 3 or lower Psychic from your deck, usually fetch a tuner like Trebons or Psychic Commander, gives you instant synchro options.
Yeah, this was like the centre of the Tally-Dad format. It just gave you instant options into Stardust and things like that. Synchros have obviously seen a lot less play recently, so it's nice to get a card like this into the game to get a bit more searching for tuners, I suppose. We'll see how much play it gets, but I'm not convinced on it as a card personally. I don't really like it. I think a lot of the time I'd rather just play better tuners in the deck. than having to play searches for those tuners. So we'll just see what happens.
Personally, I think this might be one of the reasons Brianette got banned, because this and any 4-star can, or 3-star can instantly get it out for you. Level limit, area B.
Yeah, back up to 3 now. It's not nearly as good with exceeds in the game because they're ranks, so it doesn't affect them, so you can just get straight around that. Swords
of Revealing Light. You play it, stays on the field for 3 turns. For those turns, your opponent can't attack you.
It's a terrible card. I don't see why it was restricted for so long, to be honest. It was okay once upon a time, but nowadays I just don't think it's good at all. I don't think it'll see any play.
Magic Cylinders.
Yeah, to 3. Burn will obviously quite like this, but it was a card that only really saw play in burn decks, so that's that really. Overall, I'm quite happy with this list. Gives some opportunities for some more decks to come back, like Agent, to see some more play. But we'll see how it pans out. You know, we got a lot of sets to be released in this format, and we'll just see how it works out. But overall, I'd say they've hit generally the right things. They've restricted most decks down enough, if not too much in some cases. So other than Dark World, I suppose, that's the other mention we've got to give. Dark World didn't get touched. And I know it didn't win anything, but it was still an annoying deck to play against. And I think perhaps you should have seen at least 1 touch for that. Maybe Card Destruction, at least.
I mean, if you open Card Destruction, unless you're playing a mirror match, you win that game.
Yeah, so that was the other hit I think people sort of wanted.
Here we are at the end of another MFM Yu-Gi-Oh chat. I hope you enjoyed Jack and Lukas. Lucas's first time, so hopefully he enjoyed it too. We're going to give away the prize of one of these tins to one of the subscribers that commented, like we said earlier. Everyone's names are here. There was only 28 subscribers that commented, so one of them's going to win. I don't know whose names are on here. Well, I do know the names who are on here, but I don't know which one belongs to who. But I'm going to put them in this bucket, and we're going to mix them up. No expensive spares there. All right, and then we're going to pull them all out so they're all muddled up, and we're going to choose one. I don't know which one to choose. This one. This will do. We'll unfold it, and the winner was Chewy Mage U. So if you are Chewy Mage U, you have won one of these tins. Please contact us. You can contact me on vini@madforminiatures.com. That's VINI@mad4forminiatures.com with your details, or you can come and collect your prize. And we'll see you soon. Please rate, subscribe, and like, and see you on the next chat. Bye.